Renee spoke to Tommaso Ciampa and says, "Are you ready?" And Ciampa, I mean, we talk about the opponent after WrestleMania facing the new champion being the toughest role. No, being on the television show of the week after the champion as the challenger, that might be the toughest spot here. So Ciampa had to give the promo of a lifetime here. He says, "My entire career, I've been told I'm not big enough. I'm not tall enough. I never passed the airport test. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a son. I've got insane work ethic. Tonight is about proving that glass ceilings are imaginary. Tonight is about professional wrestling. You have never seen a man more prepared for this moment than I am tonight." And he asks Darby, "Do you want this more? Then I need it." Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy did all of his best to sell this match for you as well.
A championship level promo from Tommaso Ciampa, like the type of promo you would hear somebody like cut before their WrestleMania main event. You know, it's just, it almost like sums up his like sort of what defines, you know, him and what motivates him throughout life. And I mean, he did a fantastic job. All
this guy needed to say at the end was, "I will promise you that tonight's match will outdo anything you saw over the weekend." Yeah, like that could have been, and I don't think that's a stretch.
He said that through the match, you know.
Yes, he conveyed that later. Yeah. And Darby says he's going to put his body on the line every week, and so I would imagine we're getting at least 4 weeks of title defenses before Double or Nothing. It looks like,
if not more.
Yeah, if not more. I mean, you could run with this longer than Double or Nothing. Like, everyone is looking at this. It's the show in Queens, but I mean, sometimes you can, you know, I feel this will not be a super long run, but I mean, you're going to get some probably killer TV matches as long as it does last.
If he is going to be delivering matches the quality of this one every single week, I would be extremely concerned, more than you already am, about his health. But this would also be one of the greatest runs in AEW championship history.
Well, the bar is insane after this one. So Ciampa walks out, and there is MJF, and they bump into each other. And MJF is talking to Ciampa, and Ciampa just leans in and kisses him on the cheek.
Mm-hmm. I love this. Like, I don't know if this is set to lead to anything further, but like just simply having this one moment and teasing some sort of tension between these two was enough to at least have me believe that there was a slightly higher than usual, maybe expected chance of Ciampa actually winning this before going on to face MJF.
I would say they did a remarkable job, because I thought there were several moments in this match that this crowd like bit on, like those knee strikes. Like, they have protected that with Ciampa since the moment he came into AEW. His promo was excellent. Like, that is one thing you will get with Darby, is I think that he is a champion. You can see just like a surprise outcome is not totally out of the question, especially when they came off just doing something like this a week ago. So Darby goes for the coffin drop right away, and Ciampa rolls to the floor, and he's hit by the coffin drop on the floor. And Ciampa misses a boot going into the timekeeper's area, and Darby leaps off the post over the guardrail into the timekeeper's area. They did this overhead shot to appreciate the distance that he covered here. And this is in the first couple of minutes of this match. Ciampa is cut open, and when I say cut open, he was completely covered. This was one of the most just complete crimson masks that he worked most of the match with here. There's a scorpion death drop to Ciampa in the ring, and as he takes it, he rips off the turnbuckle pad. And then I might say this was the craziest spot of the whole match, but there's options. Ciampa gets Darby up for a psycho driller, and he comes off the turnbuckle to the floor, not through a table, just straight down to the floor, landing on his hip. This was one, usually these spots, you're immediately looking at how is Darby alive. This was the exception where I thought Ciampa was dead, because he came down on his hip, and my God, was this nuts. This was the nuttiest spot of the match for me.
I mean, I think you could say they're both crazy for doing something like this. At least put a table underneath.
Nothing. This is just right to the floor.
Oh my God, dude. But like in watching it, Yeah, I'm sure it didn't feel nice. Ciampa, I mean, I thought sold it tremendously well, though. I mean, I wonder how much he had to exaggerate, but he certainly used it for all it was worth. It was shocking to me that this was like heading into a commercial break, you know?
Yeah, this is how you set up a commercial break
Oh my
for
goodness.
this AEW title run. They come back, and Darby is rolled into the ring, manages a foot on the rope. They get into a big chop battle. Both men are down, and Bryce is counting. And then both T's going into the exposed buckle. Off the top comes Darby with the coffin drop, but he is caught in a rear naked choke, rolls out, and then Darby's head gets slammed into the exposed buckle, and Ciampa pulls down the knee pad, hits him with the knee strike, and Darby kicks out. Big near fall, hits the Project Ciampa, another knee strike for a 2 count, and Ciampa cannot believe that he is kicked out. Goes for the Scorpion Deathlock onto Darby, and Darby reverses it. And Nigel pointing out how much damage has been done to Ciampa's hip that is going to make this even worse. And Darby is holding on to this. He's like nearly losing the hold. And so he just wrenches back like Garcia's Dragon Tamer and then fully reapplies it, pulls Ciampa away, and Ciampa has to tap out. Just a phenomenal match. This was total pay-per-view level quality, like high end. Like this could have headlined a pay-per-view. This was incredible. Like at worst, this is right next to the very best matches you saw this weekend. And I think some people would think this outperformed anything from Mania Weekend. Like this was just an incredible TV match that was started this title reign off with, at the very least, the promise that you are going to get some unbelievable main events over the next few weeks.
Strictly speaking, bell to bell, yeah, I would suggest that this was better than, you know, whether it be the ladder match or Reigns versus Punk. Now, Reigns versus Punk, I think, is a separate case because I think that had a lot more going to it than just the bell to bell. So, as an experience, that will still be more remembered and maybe more enjoyed than something like this. But when we're talking about bell to bell action, the ladder match was tremendous. You know, Gunther Rollins was tremendous. I think this outperformed that.
I have no question. It was ahead of those two.
It was a beautiful match. You know, I was one of the few who wasn't fully satisfied, and I think the lack of fight in the way Darby won the match last week, to me, his win felt more like a Money in the Bank cash in, that it felt more opportunistic than, you know, something based on just complete merit. And so whenever you do have something like that, it's so important to have an immediate follow-up that establishes Darby as a world championship level threat who is credible. And this match did more than just that. I think as impressive as Darby Allin is, he to me like conveyed like a different level of intensity and spirit than usual. And coupled this with the promo that he cut earlier, I can buy the idea that now he is that much more motivated to like run through those ropes faster or to take even more punishment than he does usually because he has something, you know, very precious to fight for and to retain now. So
I was worried about his motivation. Yeah, that's been a
think about how motivated he was before and how much more motivated he is. You know, can you imagine if he ever has kids, like how different he'll be?
Dude, we were just watching this guy get flipped in the trunk of a car a month ago. Okay. That was like only a few weeks ago.
This felt like a different level of Darby Allin. And I also found it interesting that they gave like Ciampa the blade job in this match, you know, considering how like, I mean, Darby is usually the undersized, more sympathetic figure here. Ciampa traditionally maybe more heelish in his current status in the company. Although tonight, like, like you could have fooled me. He's very lovable here, but like having Ciampa do the blood here, I think conveyed to me that Darby is capable of not just squeaking by the competition as your undersized underdog, but he's capable of maiming somebody too. You know, given that he's like maybe more intense, more violent than before. So I thought that worked out really well. And for Ciampa, I mean, what an incredible run he's already had in AEW. I think like maybe recency bias, but I think this exceeded the Fletcher match for me, which
you could argue are the number 1 and number 2 TV matches this year that Ciampa's been a part of.
Yeah, and what an accolade. You know, just simply you can attach to this guy. So he's certainly on his best singles run since his NXT days. I would suggest his best run since his NXT days already. Both men were so good here. I would love to see this rematch. But yeah, one of the matches of the year on television, I think we could say.
18 minutes and 6 seconds this one went. And I really like the post-match too, where Darby and Ciampa, they're on their knees, they end up shaking hands, and Ciampa puts the belt on him and just exits. I just thought this was like a really nice ending to this. And you know, the promo from earlier, it does set up like Ciampa, like how he comes off this loss and what you can do with that. I think overall, like this did a lot for both guys, and for Ciampa, like it should put him in some kind of direction after, like coming off of this as well. It is WrestleMania month at postwrestling.com. Wei Ting and John Pollock go live all WrestleMania week beginning Monday, April the 13th. Sign up for the Post Wrestling Cafe and you will get live shows all week long leading into our coverage that weekend of WrestleMania 42. This month, we're also bringing you reviews of Spring Break 2 from New Orleans in 2018 and a special Patrons Pick edition of Rewind Away. Sign up now at postwrestlingcafe.com, and this month, new subscribers get 50% off for the first month. Head on over to postwrestlingcafe.com.